Om Shanti. This is the Avyakt Murli of 28th of May 2017. Original date 3rd of April 1982. The title: The first and foremost renunciation is the renunciation of body consciousness. Today, Bap Dada is seeing his children who are images of renunciation. Each and every Brahmin soul is an embodiment of renunciation. However, just as you have been told about fortune, that even though all of you are children of the one Father, and you all receive the same fortune and inheritance, you become number-wise on the basis of how you take care of it and increase it. All of you have become images of renunciation, but you are also number-wise in this. You had renunciation and became Brahmins, but the definition of renunciation is very deep. For the sake of it, all of you say the same thing, that you have renounced your body, mind, wealth and relations. However, renunciation of the body means renunciation of the consciousness of the body. So, have you renounced the consciousness of the body, or are you still renouncing it? Renunciation means to let go of everything and every situation, to step away from the feeling of anything belonging to you, and to finish your rights to it. The one to whom you renounced that thing, it now belongs to that person. You cannot even have any thoughts of whatever you renounced, because you cannot take back anything that you have renounced or promised to renounce, even in your thoughts. For example, limited sannyasis renounce their homes and relations and go away. However, if they were to return home again, what would that be called? According to their rules, they cannot return. In the same way, you Brahmins are unlimited sannyasis and renunciates. You images of renunciation have renounced your old homes, that is, your old bodies and the consciousness of old bodies. Your intellects had the thought of never again being attracted to that old home. You would not come back to it, even in your thoughts. That was the first renunciation. This is why it is said, renounce all bodily relations, including the body and all consciousness of the body. So, you don't come back into the old house that you have already renounced, do you? What did you promise? Did you say, even the body belongs to you, or did you just say, the mind belongs to you? The first word you used was body. You speak of body, mind and wealth. You speak of the body and bodily relations. So, what was the first renunciation? To forget the consciousness of the old body and to step away from it. This was the first step of renunciation. In a home, you have all the paraphernalia of a household. In the same way, the different physical senses are the paraphernalia of the home, the body. Therefore, renunciation of the home means the renunciation of everything. So, although you have left your home, if there is still attachment to even one thing, would that be called renunciation? Similarly, if any physical senses pull you, would that then be called complete renunciation? Check yourself in this way. Don't be careless and think that you have let go of everything else, and so if only one of the physical senses causes mischief, that will automatically be put right in time. The fact is, the attraction of even one of the physical senses will stop you from belonging to the Father. It won't allow you to stabilize in a constant and stable stage. It won't allow you to enter number 1, the first division. If someone has given up all their diamonds, jewels and palaces, but still has some attachment to a damaged earthenware vessel, what would happen? Just as a diamond attracts towards itself, similarly, the broken earthenware vessel would repeatedly attract that person even more than a diamond. Even against their conscious wish, their intellect would repeatedly be pulled towards it. In this way, if you are still attracted by any of the physical senses, then that will repeatedly bring you down and stop you from claiming an elevated status. So there has to be renunciation of the old home and all the old paraphernalia of that. Don't think that that is just a little thing, because even that small amount will make you lose a great deal. So there has to be complete renunciation. Consider that old body to be an invaluable treasure that you have received from Bap Dada. You have to use it for service. That body is not yours, but an invaluable treasure for service. It is as though you are living in that body as a guest. Bap Dada has given you that body for a short time in order to carry out a task. So, what have you become? A guest. Renounce the consciousness of mine, and while considering yourself to be a guest, Mehman, use the body for a great task, Mahan. What do guests remember? Do they remember their real home, or do they get trapped in this one? So the home of the body of all of you is that of the angelic form, and then that of a deity form. Therefore, remember them. Just as Bap Dada takes the support of this old body, and yet doesn't get trapped in it, live in that old body in the same way. Take the support of it in order to perform actions, and then stabilize yourself in your angelic form. Stabilize yourself in your incorporeal form. Come down from your elevated stage of being up above and detached simply in order to perform actions through the physical organs. This is known as being a guest. That is, being great. Do you live like this? Have you finished taking the first step of renunciation? Something amusing that Bap Dada hears nowadays is that none of you considers yourself to be any less than anyone else. If any of you are told that out of 2 people, one is junior to the other, what do? Do any of you consider yourself to be any less? You take the weapons of why and what and show the wrong form of power. These ornaments are no less. Just as there are the ornaments of all powers, so too the arms of Maya, Ravan, are no less. Shaktis have been portrayed with many arms. They are portrayed with 8 or 16 arms, but Ravan has been portrayed with many heads. Why is this? Because the power of Ravan, Maya, first of all creates upheaval in the head. How many forms does Maya take the second she comes? so many heads of the questions are created in the form of why, what. Is it like this? Is it like that? As soon as one is cut off, another one is created. 10 things instantly come into your intellect at the same time. Therefore, that is like giving one thing 10 heads. You have experienced these things, have you not? Each head then shows its own form. You become one who has the weapons of 10 heads. Shakti means to be cooperative, not a Shakti with the head of arrogance, but someone who always has all arms. That is, someone who cooperates in every situation. Souls who have the 10 heads of Ravan never cooperate even in small situations. Through the heads of why, what, how, they would reveal their false arrogance. They solve the question of why and then raise the head of how. That is, they solve one thing and then start something else. They solve the second thing and a third head emerges. They repeatedly say, "That is fine, but what about this? Why is that like that?" This is called being a Shakti who gives one thing 10 heads. They never cooperate. They constantly create opposition in every situation. Therefore, those who create opposition belong to the community of Ravan, do they not? Although they have become Brahmins, because they are influenced at that time, there is the influence of devilish power, whereas someone who is an embodiment of power will constantly cooperate in every situation. The symbol of cooperation is the arms. This is why, whenever a task has to be accomplished collectively, what words do you use? Each one to give a finger. Therefore, this is giving cooperation, is it not? Fingers are part of the arms, are they not? So the arms are the symbol of cooperation. Therefore, do you understand about the arms of the Shaktis and heads of Ravan? So, examine yourselves to see whether you are constantly images of cooperation. Have you followed the Father in taking the first step of renunciation? You saw or heard about Brahma Baba. What did he constantly have in his thoughts and on his lips? This is the Father's chariot. So, to whom does your chariot belong? Was it just Brahma who gave his chariot, or did all of you also give your chariot? The part of entering Brahma is different, but all of you also said, "The body is yours." You didn't say, "The body is mine." The promise that all of you made was, "However you make me move, wherever you make me sit, ... This was your promise, was it not? Or is it that I will use my eyes and the Father will use everything else? That you will in part follow your own dictates and in part follow Srimad? Was that your promise? So, is it Srimad or your own dictates for you to be influenced by any of the physical senses? Therefore, do you understand how deep the definition of renunciation is? This is how it becomes number-wise. Now, Baba has just told you about the renunciation of the body. There is still a lot more. There are many steps of renunciation, but Baba is just talking about the first step. You don't find renunciation difficult, do you? You have to renounce everything. If you receive something new in return for something old, then is that difficult? And you receive it now. To receive it in the future is not a big thing. However, you have to renounce the old consciousness now and take on the angelic form. What do you become when you renounce the consciousness of the body of the old world? Double light. You become this now. However, if you neither belong here nor there, then you find it difficult. You neither have full renunciation, nor have you taken this on fully, and so you are only half dead, and this is why you repeatedly have to take a deep breath. Whenever you find something difficult, you take a deep breath. There is pleasure in dying, but only when you die completely. In terms of receiving, you say that you will claim fully, whereas in terms of renouncing, you won't even renounce an earthenware vessel. This is why it becomes difficult. In fact, if any of you want to keep an earthenware vessel, then Bap-Dada says, fine. What does it matter to the Father? You may keep it. However, you yourself become distressed by that. This is why Bap-Dada tells you to renounce it. What is the result of your holding on to something old? Your intellect will constantly wander towards that thing. Then, because of that, you are not able to become an angel. This is why Bap-Dada would give you 1,000 more earthenware vessels, and you can accumulate as many as you want. However, what is created where there is a lot of rubbish? Mosquitoes. And who do mosquitoes bite? So, it is only for your own benefit that Bap-Dada is telling you children to renounce everything old. Don't be those who are only half dead. If you want to die, then die completely. Otherwise, you can stay alive. It isn't difficult, but you make it difficult. It sometimes becomes difficult. It becomes difficult when the heads of Ravan are created. When you become the Shaktis with many arms, it becomes easy. Simply take one step of giving cooperation and you receive multi-millions of steps of cooperation. However, you become afraid to take the first step. You forget what you are going to receive and only remember what you have to give. This is why you find it difficult. Acha. To those who are constantly images of cooperation, to those who constantly experience this elevated fortune by having renunciation, to those who follow the Father at every step, to those who constantly consider themselves to be guests, that is, to be great souls, to the elevated souls who have such unlimited renunciation, Bap-Dada's love, remembrance and namaste. Avyakt Bap-Dada meeting groups. 1. Overcome any mountain of adverse situations by taking a jump with your original stage. Do you constantly consider yourselves to be powerful souls? A powerful soul is one who constantly challenges Maya and gains victory over her. They constantly stay in the company of the powerful Father. Just as the Father is the Almighty Authority, so you too are Master Almighty Authorities. All the powers are weapons and ornaments. Therefore, do you consider yourselves to be souls who are holding all the ornaments? Those who are constantly powerful never shake in any adverse situation. They are able to overcome all situations. When flying in an aeroplane, you go over so many mountains and seas because you are flying very high. Therefore, you are able to overcome everything with your elevated stage in a second. It is as though you have jumped over the mountains and seas. You won't find anything hard work. 2. Become true servers who renounce bossiness and imbibe spirituality. Do all of you Kumars constantly maintain your spirituality? You don't get bossy, do you? Youths quickly get bossy. They think that they know everything and that they can do everything. They have the energy of youth. However, spiritual youths means those who constantly maintain their spirituality. They are constantly humble, because to the extent that you are humble, you will accordingly be constructive. Where you are constructive, there will be no bossiness, but there will be spirituality. Just see how the Father comes with so much humility. Therefore, follow the Father. If there is the slightest bossiness in service, then that service finishes. Acha, blessing. May you be an equal companion who is victorious even in your dreams by experiencing being close to the Father. On the path of devotion, they have shown spiritual gatherings to be an important way of staying close to God. Only those who are equal are able to have the company, that is, are able to remain close. Those who remain constantly with the Father in their thoughts are victorious, inasmuch as that Maya cannot attack them in their thoughts or even in their dreams. Constantly to be a conqueror of Maya means constantly to be in the Father's close company. No one has the power to separate you from the Father's company. Slogan: to stay constantly free from obstacles and to make others free from obstacles is accurate service. Om Shanti.